Chapter 5. Working of Institutions. Overview of the chapter. Democracy is not just about people electing their rulers. In a democracy, the rulers have to follow some rules and procedures. They have to work with and within institutions. This chapter is about the working of such institutions in a democracy. We try to understand this by looking at the manner in which major decisions are taken and implemented in our country. We also look at how disputes regarding these decisions are resolved. In this process, we come across three institutions that play a key role in major decisions: legislature, executive, and judiciary. We have already read something about these institutions in earlier classes, haven't we? Here, we shall quickly summarize those and move on to asking larger questions. In the case of each institution, we ask, what does this institution do? How is this institution connected to other institutions? What makes its functioning more or less democratic? The basic objective here is to understand how all these institutions together carry on the work of government. Sometimes we compare these with similar institutions in other democracies. In this chapter, we take our examples from the working of the national level government called central government, union government, or just Government of India. While reading this chapter, you can think of and discuss examples from the working of the government in your state.
अगर आप अपने सिलेबस के सारे चैप्टर्स इस फॉर्मेट में देखना चाहते हैं तो हमें डिस्क्रिप्शन में दिए गए नंबर पर कॉल करें.
How is a major policy decision taken? A government order. On August 13, 1990, the Government of India issued an order. Government. A set of institutions that have the power to make, implement, and interpret laws so as to ensure an orderly life. In its broad sense, government administers and supervises over citizens and resources of a country. It was called an Office Memorandum. Office Memorandum. A communication issued by an appropriate authority stating the policy or decision of the government. Like all government orders, it had a number and is known by that. OM number 36012/31/90 EST SCT dated 13/8/1990. The Joint Secretary in the Department of Personnel and Training in the Ministry of Personnel, Public Grievances and Pensions signed the order. It was quite short, barely 1 page. It looked like any ordinary circular or notice that you may have seen in school. The government issues hundreds of orders every day on different matters. But this one was very important and became a source of controversy for several years. Let us see how the decision was taken, and what happened later.
अगर आप अपने सिलेबस के सारे चैप्टर्स इस फॉर्मेट में देखना चाहते हैं तो हमें डिस्क्रिप्शन में दिए गए नंबर पर कॉल करें.
Use your brain power. Number 1. From the cis polyisoprene structure of natural rubber, explain the low strength of van der Waals forces in it. Answer. In rubber molecule, double bonds are located between and of each isoprene unit. These cis bonds do not allow the polymer chain to come closer. Therefore, only weak van der Waals forces are present. Since these chains are not linear, they can be stretched just like springs and exhibit elastic properties. Number 2. Explain how vulcanization of natural rubber improves its elasticity. Hint, consider the intermolecular links. Answer. Vulcanization of rubber is a process of improvement of the rubber elasticity and strength by heating it in the presence of sulfur, which results in three-dimensional cross-linking of the chain rubber molecules bonded to each other by sulfur atoms.
The decision makers. Who decided to issue this memorandum? Clearly, such a big decision could not have been taken by the person who signed that document. The officer was merely implementing the instructions given by the Minister of Personnel, Public Grievances and Pensions, of which the department was a part. We can guess that such a major decision would have involved other major functionaries in our country. You have already read in the previous class about some of them. Let us go over some of the main points that you covered then. President is the head of the state and is the highest formal authority in the country. State. Political association occupying a definite territory, having an organized government and possessing power to make domestic and foreign policies. Governments may change, but the state continues. In common speech, the terms country, nation, and state are used as synonyms. Prime Minister is the head of the government and actually exercises all governmental powers. He takes most of the decisions in the cabinet meetings. Parliament consists of two houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. The Prime Minister must have the support of a majority of Lok Sabha members. So, were all these people involved in this decision regarding the office memorandum? Let us find out.
अगर आप अपने सिलेबस के सारे चैप्टर्स इस फॉर्मेट में देखना चाहते हैं तो हमें डिस्क्रिप्शन में दिए गए नंबर पर कॉल करें. ऐसे ही और एजुकेशनल वीडियोस देखने के लिए हमारे चैनल होम रिवाइज को सब्सक्राइब करें.